Hello,
Good morning.
welcome to our webinar. We are here with you today because recently we got quite many requests around the ultimate beneficial ownership data. We'd like to share with you some best practices of how our customers deal with identifying and verifying the beneficial owners. My name is Bella Pimbor. I'm a pre-sales consultant in Dun& Bradstreet, Hungary, and I'm here today with Jakub Weglicki, customer advisor in Dun& Bradstreet, Poland, also a certified compliance officer.
Yep, thanks, Bella. And let's see what we're going to present today. Firstly, we'll share our observations on how the companies deal with identifying and verifying the ultimate beneficial owners. Then, we'll talk about the new law requirements regarding beneficial owners. And next, we're going to explore the hot topic, which is the official ultimate beneficial ownership register, and we'll share some tips on how to approach it. At the end, we'll share some best practices, how the companies manage to reduce costs of the onboarding process, especially identifying the beneficial owners.
Let's start with the issues. What the companies have with the ultimate beneficial ownership data?
The companies need to identify the ultimate beneficial owners, so-called UBOs, in order to comply with law regulations, such as anti-money laundering or anti-corruption, or to protect their businesses from risky relationships. Um, Getting to the correct UBO data may be really problematic. And according to the feedback we got from our clients, the full company onboarding process takes 10 hours on average, and some cases may take up to 3 working days. And what is important, the UBO part is the longest in this analysis.
Yeah, one of our customers said that the longest onboarding process he had took them 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is possible, especially for the businesses with large and complex corporate structure. It takes ages to investigate all ownership levels, visit multiple registers around the world, and other data sources.
Yes, and it's more and more time consuming. And the worst thing is that even more law requirements will come.
That's right. Actually, this is what we can be sure about. More pressure will come since knowing the real owners of the company is a key to prevent the financial crimes. For example, the recent European anti-money laundering regulations impose new UBO-related requirements to the obliged entities. Also, new types of companies are included under this regulation. And the penalties for not being compliant have been increased significantly.
What we experience now in our region is that more and more companies that are not regulated by external law still decide to check their business partners carefully.
That's right. They are not regulated, but they simply want to know who they really do business with to protect their reputation. You need to be transparent if you want to do business globally. For example, let's say the final owner of your supplier gets involved in some illegal activity. Uh, this information can quickly come out to public.
I believe that would hurt. So that's why the companies want to prevent that.
Yeah, what I observe when talking to our clients, they get extremely cautious nowadays. This is what has changed recently. Now the companies are ready to sacrifice a good deal if the risk of negative business consequences exists.
And another thing that our companies often struggle with is a lack of resources.
Yeah, that's true. The teams responsible for checking the clients or suppliers need more time now to do their job. But all business processes around them are accelerating. So there's no space for such a stopper as a detailed analysis of the company. But surprisingly, many of clients I talk to don't get sufficient support, such as increased headcount or even supportive approach from the rest of their company. They are all alone with their problems and they need to find solution by themselves. Plus, they need to get ready for more to come. But luckily, this is where the new technology helps. Today, the professional tools fueled by good pre-analyzed data can help a lot more than it was even 2 years or 3 years ago. Most of the companies don't even know how easier it can be when such tool is applied.
Jakub, you mentioned the new European anti-money laundering law. What exactly has changed and why the companies are required to do more now?
Yes, the local AML law acts coming from the fifth European AML directive have been implemented or are being currently implemented in our region. First of all, the obliged entities need to make sure that they keep the ownership data up to date during the cooperation.
Yeah, and the fifth directive puts more attention to this.
That's right. To deal with that, the companies usually repeat the UBO investigation for all clients periodically, once a quarter, once a year, or each time the contract is renewed or modified. This means a lot of work because usually each record needs to be revised manually.
And besides doing a repetitive task again and again without seeing the benefits coming from it is risky.
Yes,
And
that's
and this is not what the highly qualified people like to do.
exactly. And this is actually a serious problem for the compliance teams because this frustration often grows and valuable employees simply leave the company. Uh, but there is another disadvantage of this peri- periodic check. Even if you find a change in company's ownership, um, it's been already a few months or even a year since you last checked it. So you give the new owner a lot of time without checking him against sanction lists, PEPs, and all other risk-related elements. So this is the big gap that exposes your company to higher risk.
And this is why we recommend the UBO monitoring.
Exactly. With monitoring feature applied, you get an automatic alert whenever anything changes in the company's ownership structure. Um, the alert that you get tells you what the change is about and how significant it is. You can decide then whether to repeat the whole investigation or not. Plus, you can give up checking the records that haven't changed, which is a huge saving after all. And there's one more thing that we see today. Uh, there are many more ownership changes going on than before the COVID pandemic. For example, in Poland, we have around 5,000 changes in ownership each month, which is over 20% more than before the pandemic. And, and we can assume that this trend will remain.
Yeah, I believe that's because the company's financial health is getting worse.
That's right. And these generates acquisitions, mergers, or other events that lead straight to the changes in ownership or in the management boards.
Okay, so let's wrap up this part. If you want to handle the latest requirements of the AML regarding the ultimate beneficial owners, do not plan the periodic refreshment of UBO data for your entire customer base.
That's correct. A much better solution is to enable a UBO monitoring function and refresh the analysis only for those records that require that. Plus, you'll save a lot of time, money, and nerves of your team, which can be even a greater benefit for you.
The official ultimate beneficial ownership registers. That has been a hot topic recently.
Yeah. Long story short, the official Ultimate Beneficial Ownership Register, the so-called Transparency Register, aims to provide the obliged entities with all relevant information about the company's owners.
Each country in the EU is obliged to establish such register and make sure that all local entities report and maintain their data in there.
Yeah, that's how it should look like in a perfect world, we can say. But actually, this is a great idea.
Yeah, however, as you might have heard, unfortunately, it doesn't work this way. There are a lot of challenges that make the official beneficial ownership registers not as efficient as they should be.
That's right. We all had high expectations for the register a couple of years ago when the first registers started working. When it turned out that the quality um, of data was low, um, we became a little suspicious, and it also turned out that a lot of information was missing. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be any different in our countries, in our region as well.
Okay, so let's see why it is like that and what the main challenges are.
Well, first of all, data in the registers is mainly dependent on the knowledge, honesty, and discipline of the entities required to input data. The only way to impact the quality is penalties that the companies are given for entering wrong data or not reporting it at all. Um, but apparently, it doesn't work as it should.
Well, as far as I know, the companies often don't really know their ultimate beneficial owners.
That's true. They're often unsure of the correct definition of their final owners. Some of them put the names of the management board instead. Many companies enter a lot of irrelevant information, hoping that this will let them avoid being punished. Others enter only a part of required information because they don't know how to get to more details. However, the biggest problem is the lack of entry at all. Uh, Penalties are growing, but it doesn't seem to solve the problem.
Yeah, then the next issue is that how often data is updated in the registers.
Yep, the updates to the registers are usually required once a year only. Hence, entries may be often out of date.
Okay, and what about the companies running cross-border activities? How much they can rely on the UBO registers?
The problem is that basically all UBO registers around the world have the same defects. Apparently, nobody has found a way to make them efficient so far. The biggest challenge is that they are missing synchronized approach. They have different rules, requirements, different data fields, not the same data structure. Some are free of charge. The others are have to be paid for. Only some of them are publicly available. And this means that each of them requires training the staff and extra time spent on research. Furthermore, uh, the, the national registers as of today are not connected to each other. So, for example, three different branches of the particular parent company may have completely different beneficial owners reported to the local UBO registers. Uh, Even if at some point in future we will see the consolidated European Union or even global register, the issue will probably remain. Uh, the local stakeholders will not ensure the same level of data quality and integrity.
Yes, I think it's getting clear to everybody that the official UBO registers cannot become the single source of truth.
Yes, and the local regulators are not trying to deny that. For example, in the latest AML Act in Poland, um, there is a specific statement saying that the central UBO register cannot be the only source of information about the beneficial owners. The obliged entities need to check other sources of information because they are responsible for the correct identification of the UBO. Otherwise, the company's procedures will not be considered sufficient by the regulator.
Okay, so as a summary, what tips can we have for our viewers? What would help them to avoid penalties and keep the processes efficient?
Most of all, don't treat the official UBO register as the only source of truth. In your processes, include other available sources where you will find the missing information or where you will verify what you already have. And don't worry, it's not going to take more time now. Opposite, as I mentioned, there are tools available that can identify the beneficial owners within less than a minute. So don't waste your time to get to the UBO by yourself manually. Let the data and technology work for you. Uh, in the end, it saves a lot of time and money.
And this is actually how our solutions can help.
Yep, this is what we do for a living. Dun& Bradstreet's UBO database is one of the best in the world, and that's the proven fact. We collect data globally, validate, verify, and analyze it, um, so you can get the ready to use information. Plus, we um, keep it up to date, keep it fresh, and monitor the changes. This is why we advise using solutions like ours as a supplement or a alternative to the UBO registers in some cases. From our client's perspective, it is reasonable to let us do the difficult job so they can focus on something more important.
And how the companies benefit from doing it that way. Let's see some examples in the following part. How our clients to manage their onboarding process is easier and less time consuming.
We currently work with several thousand clients who analyze new business partners using our tools every day. And let's see what benefits they appreciate the most. Let's assume that you need to identify um, an ultimate beneficial owner of a new customer, company A, in a traditional way. First, you go to the official UBO register. um, if you're lucky, you get the full list of ultimate beneficial owners there, but this is rare. In this case, what you find there is information about one person from China holding at least 25% of shares, plus the names of the board members.
Okay, and is that sufficient?
Definitely not. These data may be incorrect or incomplete, um, and you have only 25% of shares covered. So what about the rest? There is no clarity. So you decide to ask the company A for the UBO declaration. It takes a couple of days, and what you get is the same information as you found in the UBO register, so it doesn't bring any value. Plus, the customer complains uh, that they already reported that to the register, so why do we ask them again? Okay, so you go further to the official governmental company register. Um, you learn that there is a Danish company owning 100% of company A, and its name is Company D. Um, so you go to the Danish company register and you try to find Company D there. But apparently, there are a couple of matches that can possibly fit. It takes additional time, but eventually you find the right Company D. It says there that D is owned by another companies. One of them is located in Norway, the other in China. So you go further to Norwegian and Chinese registers and keep investigating. In the meantime, you decide to check Company D in the Danish UBO register and try to explore Chinese one as well. Um, but it says only that the majority of shares of Company D are held ultimately by two Norwegians, and there is nothing about Chinese owners there. It is very likely, since the rules of reporting UBOs are different for each country, in each country's registers. Um, it already took much time, but that's not the end of your investigation. You still don't have clarity, right?
But let's take a short break and see how it can be done when you are equipped with a tool that is dedicated to the UBO check.
Uh, so if you're equipped with a professional tool, you enter the name of a company A um, or its ID, and you click on the ownership report. And you get the final result of the analysis in less than 1 minute. So you have clarity now. Here are the owners that you are looking for.
So how is that possible?
Well, this is the core of our business. We've developed our solutions and processes for many years to get to this point. Um, Basically, we have a network of local partners around the world who manage their local databases and ensure the data quality. All local data is synchronized with our global database on the regular basis. So, for example, if a company is established in Russia and it appears in the Russian register of companies, um, our local partner who is responsible for the Russian data receives the data and reports the company to our global database. We check the ownership connections of the company and we put it in the right place in its global ownership structure. The same happens if any company details change locally. Thanks to this mechanism, the global database is immediately updated. Um, Therefore, the end user of our service operates on the updated and complete database. That's why he can immediately see the entire map of the company's connections with the other companies and with people.
And he doesn't have to conduct a multi-stage analysis to reach the real owners.
That's right, because we have already done it. So the result of such analysis are already there, waiting for him in our tools.
Simple as that. Okay, let's move to another example. Automation is a key to is a key to save the resources and improve the processes. Let's see how our clients manage to do that with our tools.
Yes, automation means acceleration, which is needed especially in the area of company analysis. One of the common issues is that the teams responsible for the company analysis are the bottlenecks. All steps of investigation need to be taken here by highly qualified people, case by case, and it takes time.
The truth is that when you conduct an investigation in a traditional way, searching through multiple sources, at each stage you may face non standard situations that don't let you automate your activities.
That's right. Let's have a look. Um, so first, you check the company's identity and go deeper into operational data. So what you need to know is what registers to visit, how to get there, what data elements each of them provides, and so on. You need to be skillful and flexible to decide what sources and data elements to take into account or to uh, leave as something irrelevant. So there is no space for automation here. Pretty often, the company's financials are checked as well. And to do that, you need to be even more careful because collecting data and assessing financial risk requires an individual approach. And then uh, you check company's family tree to see what entities it is linked to and where geographically they are located. Uh, Building an entire family tree usually requires visiting many sources and analyzing data individually. Again, automation is not possible here. Next, you check who controls the company, and this is what we already explained. Same story. Um, Once you get to the beneficial owners, you screen them against sanctions, watch lists, blacklists, adverse media. Also, you check the individuals if the individuals are politically exposed persons. And here again, you face multiple sources, various formats of data, different quality, and you need to decide case by case. So no automation.
Yeah, so apparently there is no space for automation. All tasks needs to be done manually.
That's right, at least most of them. However, you can always give up the traditional way, which we just explained, and start working on data that has been already collected, pre-analyzed, verified, standardized. Uh, this completely changes the perspective, and automation becomes possible.
Obviously, you are talking about the data we provide in our services. Okay, let's say how clients leverage that.
First of all, the vast majority of tasks that highly skilled workers were wasting time on uh, are already done, and data in our services is ready to be used. This opens the new possibilities. The task that can be split into other departments, for example. People with a basic knowledge of company analysis can now make the final decisions. For example, a sales department or the procurement department can easily analyze most of cases without engaging compliance team and make the final decisions by themselves.
Moreover, we can go a step further and integrate our data into the client's internal system.
Yeah, integration via API service changes a lot.
So, what our customer do when they have our data plugged to their system?
Uh, they can enable an onboarding process of a new customer even at the front desk immediately. It's just a matter of entering the company's ID into CRM system, uh, and the rest, the whole analysis, is done automatically behind the scenes in the system. Um, in our solutions, we have all necessary data to conduct the full onboarding process. Our company database is the largest in the world. All data elements that are needed to run the onboarding process are available in our tools, starting from the company's identification with the global linkages for the detailed financial, operational, and ownership data to the sanction lists, to PEPs and adverse media at the end. As a result of this analysis, the front desk operator may get a simplified message like a score or a kind of traffic light, where green means go, um, red light means stop, high risk, cooperation declined, and yellow means that the particular case needs some further analysis in the compliance department. The algorithms and rules standing behind the traffic lights can be set up by the client, taking into account the business case and all individual dependencies. Everything can be customized there.
And the same mechanism can be applied to the supplier onboarding process. The procurement team can do the check in the ERP system by themselves without any effort.
Exactly. And also, our clients use it in the e commerce business or wherever the fully automatic online onboarding needs to be applied.
So it looks like we can reduce our resources to zero.
Um, not exactly. I'm not going to lie to you. The full automation is not possible in the company analysis. Technology can help, uh, but it will not do all the job. Even if the automation is enabled, our customers still have around 5 up to 15% of cases that get the yellow light, and they need to be checked manually. There are limitations still that no one can overcome, uh, mainly coming from a lack of data available or not synchronized data sources. So we will not do the whole job, but 90% or 95% is still helpful, isn't it?
Okay, Jakub, I think we have covered all. Any final conclusions from your side?
Yes, I'd like to encourage you to give the technology a chance, to give data a chance. The fact is that sooner or later you'll need to make this decision anyway. And the sooner you do it, the faster you start making profits. And there is one more thing. Please check and test the solutions carefully. What data capabilities they have behind, how experienced the suppliers are. There are many newly created tools that promise a lot, but in the end, they don't deliver that.
Yes, thank you, Jakub. Also, thank you for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.